Hey everyone, it's October 17th, 2022, just about 1:20 p.m. and I am here at Anaheim Street in Long Beach about to attempt a LA Metro Rail 100% speed run. Wish me luck.
Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride.
Hello everyone, I am joined here in voiceover land by co-host Nick.
Hi.
So the rules of the speedrun are that I have to ride the entire length of every LA Metro rail line, and I have to get back to my home station of Norwalk before the system closes for the night at 1 a.m. My strategy is to start on the A line at Anaheim Street. That way I only have to go around the clockwise one-way Long Beach loop once. Then I'll continue on up to the C line, go all the way west, and come back to Aviation Station. Then I'll take the K line by way of its connecting shuttle all the way up to the E line, which I'll then ride west to Santa Monica and back. The K line really works to our advantage here because I'll only have to travel the sides of this whole big rectangle once. After this, though, there aren't any crosstown lines, so I'll just have to ride every remaining line out from Union Station and back. The L line is functionally two lines right now. The east side segment is connected to Union Station via a shuttle bus, and the D line is just a two-station spur off the B line, so I can transfer between them at Wilshire, Vermont. Finally, I'll take the A line down from 7th Street to Willowbrook and transfer to that last leg of the C line, and then I'll be done.
This is a truly monumental undertaking. I really think you'll all enjoy this, and let's get started.
Let's get started.
You know, Long Beach's architecture is really, really something.
It's so good. It has just all the kinds of architecture ever.
It has every kind of architecture ever.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so here at downtown Long Beach, I made my first tactical blunder of the day. The Long Beach Loop doesn't quite function as an ideal loop, and trains hold here for several minutes to keep schedules further up the line more consistent. I should have transferred across the platform to that train that just now left shortly after we arrived, but alas, I was condemned to sit there for minutes and minutes. I think I will go to the back of the train. I'll take this opportunity to change my seat.
This is what we call Long Beach Purgatory.
So true. At long last, we were off, and I tried valiantly to get some video out the back window. Unfortunately, it had those annoying little shading dots, and it was really hard to keep my phone focused through them, especially because it was charging, so that the cord sort of stuck out from the phone case, and it was wobbling. Eventually, I gave up and sat back down at the side window.
Grade separation.
Grade separation.
You know, it's so funny, you know, having lived in DC for so long, being in such enclosed tunnels all the time, just being able to like look out and like see stuff.
All the auto parts stores, transit-oriented, there's a bunch of shoe
Transit-oriented
stores.
palm trees.
Yeah.
I love it. You love to see it.
You love to see it.
How many Taco Bells do you think are transit-oriented?
Ooh. Like specifically right next to rail?
Yeah. I think that'd
Probably
be neat to figure
quite
out.
a few.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a video idea.
That is a video idea.
This is cool. A truck driving along this lightly flooded river channel. It's always fun.
You could land a space shuttle in there.
Oh, I'm sure they thought about it. There's all the friends in the maintenance yard.
They're sleeping.
They're sleeping. Nap time for trains.
I would like a train nap.
Same. The wheel! I love the wheel.
The Del Amo wheel.
The Del Amo wheel. It's so ominous and so cool. And I love it.
You know what you see a lot of in LA?
Hmm?
Trucks.
There are a lot of trucks. A lot of cab overs. It's cool.
Yeah.
Love a good cab over.
So real.
Live Nick
If that doesn't get our
reaction.
viewership up. If the reverb fart sound effect doesn't get our viewership up, I don't know what will.
I don't know what will. I'm not much of a vlogger. This is my best attempt at filming myself walking around.
No, it's good. The Weird Al shirt really sells it.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Big fan.
I love this speedrun walking.
Oh yeah. 100% speed walk.
Fun fact, the 105 freeway is so loud you can just gesture at your phone and then say whatever you want in post. All about the Dodges, love the Dodges,
Love
baby.
the Dodges. The Sea Line may not have a great waiting environment, but it does provide some lovely views of some of mankind's greatest hubristic crimes against architecture.
Like what, Freddie?
Well, the Judge Harry Pregerson interchange. There was the SoFi Stadium, another crime against architecture, and the whole LAX area itself. It's really impressive. Here is the cool junction that will eventually connect the C and K lines. That's been built for quite a few years, but it's that last little bit of LAX station on the K line that is just keeping it unused.
Which is such a shame.
Yeah. So here we're getting into the sort of uncanny valley segment of the Sea Line where it's no longer in the middle of the freeway and it sort of weaves in between the buildings and it sort of reminds you of the Vancouver SkyTrain, except that all the buildings are just hotels, presumably airport oriented, and various giant aerospace factories. We have a real all-star cast of Boeing, Raytheon, and Northrop in just a few miles. They all have huge parking lots too.
It's really just a grand tour of general aviation.
It really
and
is.
military aviation.
Mm-hmm. This train made a little stop at the division yard to pick up a crew member.
I love the little division yard stations.
Mm-hmm. Space for like 2 people to wait for a train.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's for friends.
Yeah. Friend-shaped stations. You can hear a freight train horn below the tracks. This is elevated, but it's parallel to a freight train. Or a freight right-of-way. Here I am, once again, attempting to vlog at Redondo Beach Station. And you can hear the crossing gates.
I like the benches here. They're cool. Sand.
It didn't quite occur to me at the time that, like a lot of the fun sculptural seating elements across the metro system, these sort of round concrete mushrooms are designed for the somewhat perverse ulterior motive of being very difficult to sleep on. Oh well, that's LA for you, I guess. Creativity and hostility to your fellow human all in one fluid motion.
Damn. The best seat you know just made the worst point.
Heartbreaking.
There's something about looking out of the back of a train while it's just like in a space like this that feels incredibly liminal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's such a uniquely LA thing. Like, it doesn't quite feel like you should be there.
If you see something, say something.
Just want to say I really like this sculpture of the giant metal hand throwing a paper airplane. It's neat.
Oh yeah, that is great.
Oh yeah. It was a bit easier to keep my phone on the back window because it was all charged up and so the cable wasn't making it wobble or anything.
Like you said with the iPhone SE, it really doesn't like to hold a charge, does it?
No, it's a tiny little guy. Which is great.
You did your best, though.
It did its best. Yeah. And we're back at aviation. There's that K-line junction again. Aviation is definitely one of the nicer Sea Line stations to wait at. It's away from the freeway, and there's transit agencies here I've never even heard of, like Beach Cities Transit. Who are they? What do they do? Where do they go? Life's great
I'm making
mysteries.
buses your man has never heard of.
Yeah.
This is a very helpful map. Airline station south. And there is one station. Goodyear blimp. Goodyear blimp. Goodyear blimp. Goodyear blimp. Oh yeah.
From the shuttle, we can see the tantalizingly mostly complete K-line extension, taunting us with a faster, smoother ride just a few years away. But one that goes below grade to cross the runways, so we get some cool views that we won't get then. Which is to say, planes.
That's true. It's true, you don't get to go look at the planes. You get to be in the ground.
Which is cool, but planes are also cool.
Planes are also cool. That's the one thing that I do like about DCA and Dulles' metro stations is you get to look at lots of planes.
Ooh, nice.
We have a nice United 787 here. No, that's a 777.
Ah.
I'm a liar. That's a nice United 777.
Planes are so cool. Thank you. So I got on a K-line train at Westchester with plenty of time to spare and just sort of waited around. It's a terminus station.
City Hall and Courthouse. Connect here with SoFi Stadium 8-day shuttle, Metro Micro, and other Metro buses.
There is some flickering sunlight in the next 20 seconds. Photosensitive viewers be advised.
So explain where we're coming out to right now.
So we're headed north on the K line. This is Hyde Park Station at Crenshaw and Slauson. And this is sort of halfway up the line.
Time for this is our third transfer of the day.
Doing some heavy mental math there.
It's okay, you were tired.
Yeah.
Thanks for going, Metro. Eating, drinking, and smoking on Metro trains or stations is not allowed. This is your system, so please always keep it clean.
Hello, thank you for running Metro. Thank you.
That guy was so nice.
Yeah. Shout out Metro Ambassadors. I know it's a temporary pilot program, but they're cool.
We have a similar thing here in DC.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes people kind of look down on them because it means that a station is closed.
Unfortunate. But yeah, if you see someone wearing like a bright green Metro jacket,
Say hi.
yeah, say hi.
It is one of those weird stations that is split across an intersection. One platform on each side, in each direction. Let me figure out which one we're at. It's this one. Light rail, everybody, isn't it amazing?
Hi.
Oh my god, Freddy sighting.
Freddy sighting.
Oh my god, train sighting.
Connect here with Metro 212 to
OMG, the K line. We were just there.
Hi, K-Line.
So I decided to go get some coffee at Culver City because I was sleepy.
And you know what? It happens to the best of us.
So true. God gives his longest metro systems to his sleepiest soldiers.
So real.
Now arriving. Culver City.
Behold, infrastructure.
That's concrete.
That's concrete, baby.
You have the lovely Waymo self-driving cars.
Yeah. Elevated trains that are not surrounded by freeways are really nice, actually, it turns out. Look at them go.
Quiet, electric. What's not to love?
It's not to love. All coffeeed up, I climbed back up the stairs because some entrances to the station only have stairs and some of them have escalators. Some only have elevators. It's kind of a weird bit of design. Pigeons love these stations too.
The transit users.
They are.
He's not staying behind the yellow line, though.
Oh no! He's not. That's dangerous. Poor little guy.
Well, now he is.
Good for him.
It's amazing how narrow these platforms are.
Report any issues by calling Metro's law enforcement and security hotline at 888-950-STAY. If you see something, say something. The next stop is...
I guess you can't go very far without seeing a freeway.
No. Such is the nature of Los Angeles.
Such is the nature of Los Angeles. So on this segment, you might notice these occasional old, brightly painted staircases. I'm not sure if anyone uses them since they go directly down to this fence that's right by the track. I'm guessing they're relics from when the Pacific Electric right-of-way here was just sort of a disused, overgrown pedestrian path that people would access from their backyards. But I don't know. If anyone knows the history of this, I'd sure love to find out. I made sure not to make the same mistake I made at Long Beach at Santa Monica, so I went right across the platform to be on the next train. Unfortunately, it had window dots. Apparently I was on the bullet train. LA's metro ad revenue comes in equal parts from accident attorneys and big budget movies no one's gonna watch.
Well, did it seem faster?
No, it seemed a lot slower. It was more crowded too. Regional connector. The speedrun will be so much easier when you open. Then a shockingly quick transfer to the B/D line. I forget which it was, and it didn't matter because I was just going to Union Station. But here I made the absolute noob mistake of taking the Alameda exit instead of the Vignes exit, so now I had to walk all the way through the tunnel to the bus plaza for the Gold Line shuttle.
It's kind of Penn Station adjacent in terms of vibes.
Yeah. Everything except the tunnel is really nice, but the tunnel is just so
Oppressive.
It's really loud too. You can hear the Metrolink train's brakes squealing. But then the bus plaza is so nice.
Shout out to the bus
It's
plaza.
so pretty. The shuttle arrived soon enough and got us to Pico Aliso, where I just missed my transfer. But on the plus side, there was a lovely view of the sunset.
Wow. Skyline.
The trains on this segment are very short. Look at them, it's just one little articulated car. There's also more subway stations on this segment than I thought. There's 3 stations in a row that are fully underground.
Sometimes you just blink and you're in the dirt.
It's true.
I will say, you did pick a good day for it.
It was very pretty.
You got that sweet, sweet grade separation.
Grade separation. Yeah, for all its street running, a great thing about Metro Light Rail is that pretty much none of it is actually in mixed traffic. It just has a whole lot of intersections that slow things down.
As opposed to something like Muni, which...
My.
Yeah.
This segment itself is also pretty short, just like the trains, and we were headed back in what felt like no time. We are back at Aliso. Then we head back to Union.
Woohoo!
Whoa!
Union Station!
Union Station. Just 2 lines left. We're waiting for the L line shuttle. It'll be here probably pretty soon. Yep. Back at Union, gonna get some food, and then take the L line to Azusa. Then it'll just be red, purple, and then the last little bits of the blue and green to get home.
So how tired were you at this point?
Pretty tired.
After food, it is gold marked.
But nothing some Wetzel's pretzels can't cure.
So true.
So it would be kind of inconsiderate to eat on board the trains. I just waited for the next one here. Not ideal for the speed run, but it was great for me because I got to see a couple evening Metro links leaving. And the next train was my favorite type of light rail vehicle, a Hitachi Ansaldo Breda P2550. Isn't it so cute? It's just a little guy. Here he comes.
Well, there he is. He's so small.
So small
And so little.
so silver. You thought that was the whole foamer shot? Think again! There's another train!
Oh, F-125. I can't go above 90 miles an hour due to oscillations.
Oh.
And you know, I've never seen a fully Hyundai Rotem set of Metrolink trains. Always some of them gotta be Bombardier.
So here we are heading out of Union Station. There's jail. And next up are a bunch of storage facilities. It's a weird industrial area.
Yeah.
It's like some sort of housing project there that's built similarly to a storage facility, unfortunately.
Again, such is the somewhat liminal nature of LA.
Such is the somewhat liminal nature of LA. It was hard to get good video out the window at this time of night, but I hope the very moody aesthetic of this ride gets across.
See, if you just had some, like, lo-fi music, I feel like that would really sell it.
Lo-fi beats to...
Speedrun, too.
Lo-fi beats to travel through the San Gabriel Valley, too. Yeah. Also, the little dot matrix onboard displays on the P2550s are so charming. I love the silly old trains.
Welcome aboard the Metro Outline Gold.
But we just had a regular old P3010 on the way back, though, which P3010s are great, too. They're iconic. They're slay.
They do slay.
Back at Union Station, I grabbed some more coffee to power me through the last 2.5, or 2 2.5, or 1 3/2, or however you count the remaining lines and portions of lines I had left. First, the B line to North Hollywood and back.
Concrete.
Concrete. The PA system on this one is not working. I was, once again, sleepy, so I did not get out of the train at North Hollywood. I just looked out the window.
It happens.
It happens. And we were off on our way back again. Finally, I got to Wilshire, Vermont station, which is a rather unusual station. The tracks are stacked on top of each other. It's also home to the longest escalator west of the Mississippi. I did not ride this escalator for some reason. Real missed opportunity there.
Subway.
Subways are so cool. I love them. So this is some sort of test train. It just briefly stopped here before immediately continuing on. I don't know what they were doing. Maybe it was training, maybe it was testing or something, maybe it was an equipment move. Who's to say?
The vibes of an approaching subway train are always so nice.
So nice.
Oh, they used the old Pacific Electric cord.
Yeah, I love it. Makes me happy every time I hear it. So it's just like the donkey cars as they call them. What can one do but nod in approval at Wilshire Western Station?
I respect it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The universal experience of doing a fit check in the subway door window.
So true.
Connect here with the Metro E line. Expo on platform 1, the Metro A line, blue on platform 2, and remember to tap again.
Oh, you have to tap to transfer?
Theoretically, it's honors system based.
Ah,
Yeah.
how odd. I know with at least WMATA, you can just continue moving throughout the system. Which is how I got all the way out to Dulles and back
Ah.
by only leaving from one station.
It is 11:20. I am back at 7th Street Metro Center, and I'm ready to head home. That'll be the last two segments of this speed run. I will tally up the total times once I get there. Yeah, looks like a train's coming. Let's look at this.
Again, the liminal nature of LA at night.
Yeah, so true.
Forget backrooms. It's all about LA at like 11 p.m.
Yeah. There's a video about Harbor Freeway Station that I really like about how it's sort of the ultimate liminal non-place. I'll include a link to that. Highly recommend. Great video.
How interesting.
Now arriving.
We're once again great separating.
Connect here.
So, how tired of the LA Metro arrival and departure chime were you by the end of this video?
I don't even know. It's just... It was just a background thought at that point.
Yeah.
It's full time again. This looks like second to last train.
Love the very functional sign here.
You want departure info? Well, that's redacted.
took us all day.
Okay, so that took me just under 11 hours from when I took the first bit of video to when I arrived back in Norwalk. My strategy was certainly not optimal. I'm sure some clever people out there could figure out itineraries that take advantage of the shortest transfer windows. It would also help to start earlier in the day so you're not going to wait as much on the late night, less frequent headways, etc., etc. And of course, the regional connector and the K-Line airport extension will make this all a whole lot simpler and faster, so speedrunning will get easier in the next few years. I had a lot of fun doing this. It was a really neat way to see more of LA's rail transit system than I normally would have an excuse to. Rode some lengths of track I never had before, saw a huge chunk of the city in one day, and saw a whole lot of trains, which is always a win in my book.
And, as our West Coast correspondent, you're responsible for educating us about the best ways to do this. So what do you think your biggest takeaway from the whole thing would be?
My biggest takeaway? Trains are cool.
Okay.
I like them. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, so thank you everyone. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.